Now this video is going to show how I put the needles in after I've finished my mock rib. So I have done most of the leg in the hem and the leg in mock rib. So just before the do your heel, where I start is here. So what I need to do is put all the needles back in around here in the gaps. So I've stopped just further back here, because if you go too far around, your needles will start to lift up. So I take the weight off, so I just leave the barest of weight on the machine, like just this one, hooked underneath. Actually, at this point, I can even move the weight up a bit so it's all ready for when I continue on. Okay, so the needle. With the flat bit there. So always check that the hooks go up and down fairly easily, and they don't feel stiff. With this machine, you buy the machine from New Zealand. This is a New Zealand auto knitter machine. But for the actual needles, you need to go to a company in America to order the needles to get delivered. I don't know why, but for some reason, they don't sell the needles with the machine. It's just the way they do it. Okay, so when I put the needle in, I will put the back up against the groove, slide it down, and it'll just slide underneath the metal stretchy ring that's around your machine. Then I tip it up and pop it down. So that's the first needle in. Then I take my pick, and behind your stitch, your first stitch, is a little bump. It's basically the top part of the stitch below. You pick that up and then move it across onto that empty needle. So basically when you then knit around, it knits that becomes one stitch, and that becomes another stitch, so it pulls it in. So that's basically all that you do. You come around, slide it down, tilt it up, push it down, and then pick up that stitch and hang it over. And then you just work your way around till all of your needles are in. And then what I do is I will do one round just as like a joining round to get it all knitted up. And then for the pattern that I do, I will do what's called a pre-heel. I've still got the heel spring on, and I will do, for what I like to do for myself, I do 12 rounds with the pre-heel on, and then I will stop in the middle of where the heel is, and then lift up the needles out of work that I don't need to use for the heel. And that's basically it. So take your needle, the back bit, rest it up against the ridge, push it underneath the metal band, up, down, then come along and with your little pick, lift up and over. And that's all there is. As you move around and you get to where you just add a little bit of pull from underneath to tension it and just work your way around so you can fill up all the empty slots. And that's all you do for putting the needles back in when you've finished your mock rib knitting.